we asked for those questions to be published in the forum initially, and then so we could prepare our answers. We did not get a lot of questions in our forum. I believe we only had one. So we will have most of the session as an informal discussion and an open Q&A. However, we did receive here, I believe from Yorgos, one post in the forum. So I reckon that we'll start with that. I just wanted to check if, and I'm going to ask Zaira here. Zaira, is everyone on our side that needs to be here here? I'm just trying to look in the participants list.
Give me a chance. Let me have a look as well. Sorry, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, I see that Kevin isn't here yet, so let me just quickly ping him.
Okay, yes, it would be good if we could answer the questions with people from the technical team. Otherwise, you're stuck with me, which might really quickly run out its usefulness for all of you.
I apologize, but I asked Ellen directly and not via this form. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Maybe I can ask a question to the all the participants. Maybe my question is for interest for the others.
Okay, perfect. Then what we'll do is we'll take care of the question that's written down now, and then afterwards, when we've run out of forum questions, which is the one, we will open the floor for anyone who wants to pose a question, so that everyone can benefit from the answer, and you'll be able to address your question then. And Zaira, do let me know when Kevin has managed to join us.
Okay.
All right. In the absence of Kevin, what we'll do is I'll already do a quick roundtable to see who's here. So we have Yorgos from Cyprus. Do you have other colleagues? Do you have other colleagues with you today?
Yeah, of course, Yorgos Konstantinou, second Yorgos as well.
The two Yorgoses. Okay, so Yorgos squared is present, so we have Cyprus represented.
We've got Nikos, yeah, we've got a full team today.
Full team from Cyprus. Perfect, so that's good to know. Then we have Zan. Zan, who are you representing today?
I'm representing Protocol.
Protocol, the initiative?
No, company.
The company. And which initiative are you part of? I'm sorry, I haven't memorized all of you yet. I'm working on it.
DLT Note.
Sorry, someone said something?
DLT Note.
Ah,
Protocols.
perfect. Perfect. Thanks a lot, Jonas. And I guess you're here with him.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. And then we have Patrick. I'm just shouting out random names. From Berlin. ESNET. TU is a technical university?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
We are from the project UniCert.
Ah, perfect. And anyone else with you today, Patrick?
Our mentor, I would say Helmut,
Yes.
is with me here, and as far as I can see, yeah, we are we are complete.
You are complete. I see Ellen as well, Ellen Le Rouge. I've seen Helmut. We have Danny Martinez. I'm less familiar with your name.
Danny Martinez from AOC. from Catalonia, Spain.
Okay, perfect. So we also have that initiative represented. Dimitra, I'm also not familiar with your name.
Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Dimitra, let me just, we can't hear Dimitra, but I can introduce her. She represents the GUNet, which is the second party involved in the cross-border scenario we are proposing, the one you are displaying now.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And I see while we were doing our little round of introductions, some people have joined as well. So we have a nice full house now and quite a lot of people here. So what I propose is now that our technical team is here as well. We go through the questions that were submitted via the forum. So in essence, the questions submitted by Yorgos. I'll let Yorgos explain his question and then we will answer it. And after that, given that there are no other questions submitted via the forum, we'll just do an open Q&A. When you guys intervene, what I recommend is for the benefit of other participants as well, that you introduce which initiative you represent and from which country. So without further ado, Yorgos, the floor is yours. Could you maybe present the question that you've asked here so everyone can benefit as well?
Yeah, sure. This is something that wasn't on the table before our previous meeting, but the day after, I think we were contacted by the GUNet, which is a team of people that work on the e-diplomas GR application in Greece. GUNet, by the way, is the Greek Universities Network. It represents over 100 universities in Greece, so all of them together. They have built up this application for the users, which is basically does what we are trying to do, but in a non-EBSI platform, on a traditional platform. GUNet, though, they've got in their plans, they want to develop their application to become EBSI compliant. They already have a part in the e-ledger project, which is in cluster 2. However, the scope of that project doesn't cover this scenario, this specific scenario. So they've contacted us and they said whether we're interested, to experiment with them and include them in one of our scenarios. This actually is a typical scenario that we wanted ourselves to be included in our deliverables in the immediate deliverables. I believe a similar scenario was registered within the 12-13 scenarios of our cluster. I think it was the 11th or 12th. That was involving basically Croatian University. Unfortunately, in the previous 2 cluster meetings, Croatia was absent, so we didn't manage to progress with them at all. So that was a good development for us. And having in mind that this case it's got a strong business case because we've got a huge number of Cypriot citizen students that are graduating from Greek universities. And we thought that is an ideal scenario for us to be involved. There seems to be a commitment on behalf of GUNet and strong interest. We've already started a working group. We were discussing the technical details, and we've reached a point where yesterday or late yesterday where we thought it's a good time to introduce that to you. That's why we rushed it in. So that's it. I don't know whether Dimitra wants to say something on behalf of GUNet as well.
Dimitra, it would be good to hear from you, as given that you're here and I think you're fairly new to all of us.
Hello again. I don't know if you can hear me this time.
Yes, perfect.
I think that Yorgos said everything. We've been discussing this the past days, and we have some issues that we would like to get some answers from you. regarding to our collaboration.
Let's maybe start unpacking those issues then. My first question would be, Dimitra, given that you're new to, I guess, this pilot, do you have access to this website that we're showing on screen here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that's a good start. And have you had the opportunity yourself or colleagues of yours to check out the verifiable credentials lifecycle playbook? Is this something that you discussed together with Yorgos?
The VC lifecycle and playbook are the topics that I'm researching at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I would say, I mean, from a purely business perspective, what would be important, Yorgos, is especially given that your cross-border scenario of choice originally is not progressing on schedule, is you just document this scenario somewhere in your cluster section on the multi-university pilot, just so it's saved, and ensure ensure that all of the contacts that you need to collaborate with, that they're known to us, so we can also invite them where needed, etc. So that's a really simple first step. And then I reckon you said that you had some problems and that you were also working on breaking down the verifiable credentials lifecycle and playbook. So maybe I'm going to guess that some of the questions you had are probably related to that exploration. We have some members of our technical team here who actually collaborated in making the playbook. So it might be a good time to ask those questions.
Okay, I'll hand over to the other Yorgos for the technical,
perfect.
who is our technical guru on this.
Hello, everybody. No, I'm not a guru. Okay. Yeah, the first question we would like to ask is in this scenario, the eDiplomas GR portal will issue diploma certificates on behalf of the Greek universities. The universities themselves will not issue the diplomas, but this umbrella of the universities will issue the diplomas on behalf of. Is this okay as far as EBSI specifications are concerned?
I'll let Kevin or Wesley take that one. From a business perspective, it's fine as long as there is a sort of legal value in the documents that you're issuing on behalf of the universities.
Yes, the legality is there. The diplomas portal is authorized by the Greek government to do this job anyway.
Okay, well then, I mean, I'll let Kevin or Wesley answer the more technical questions.
This is Kevin speaking. Wesley, correct me if for any reason, but basically, as long as you have a DID registered in Trusted Issuer Registry, you should be able to issue a diploma, whether it's on behalf of another organization or another, is technically not a problem.
Right. Good. Thank you, Kevin. And just one more question on the diploma VC. Since it will be issued by this umbrella institution, we would like some way to have the name of the actual university that has issued the diploma. Is there a way in the current diploma schema where we can add this information?
At the moment, I don't have the schema available right here, but we have an updated version of it that is provided to us by the diploma team. So I understand that although the diploma would be issued by another organization, you would want the actual DID or identifier of the actual university to be listed on the schema. In my view, there's no problem. I would proceed as follows. I would start from taking the default schema we have currently on Bitbucket. So I don't know if you have access to this schema. I could share it with you. And I would make a suggestion to see where in which element of the schema we would list the idea of the actual university, and I would have it confirmed.
The actual university will not have a DID. It will not be registered in the EBSI. No, just the umbrella institution will be registered there. So we just need the name of the actual university to be included in the VC.
So I don't see any problem with that, and I think it's a very relevant case. It will be used by other use cases. I cannot point you to the exact element yet on the schema, but that's something that we can pick up bilaterally if that's okay with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have access? Quick question: do you have access to the repository where we have all the JSON schemas?
Yeah, I think we do. We do have, yes.
Because we have been updating it no later than yesterday, so there might be some updates that you haven't seen. I would start from there, and we can discuss which exact place to insert it to.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you very much, Kevin.
And Kevin, it would be good if whatever conclusion you come to could be shared either on the forum or with an update of the playbook so that others who may be in similar situations, and I'm going to guess that it's not going to be completely unique, can also benefit.
Definitely. And I'm taking that as a note as well on my side, so I can follow up with you on these points, since I'm also in touch with the domain experts on the actual schemas.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. All right, great.
Maxine, maybe I can ask my question because it fits to the theme we discussed.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, okay. Kevin, due to the update, breaking change of the DIT method specific identifier to ensure the registry is future-proof, the DIT has to be updated. I sent to Digit the new DIT with and this was inserted in the trusted issuer registry. So that's no problem. My question is concerning the trusted issuer registry, but not the trusted issuer registry, but the trusted accreditation organization authority. And I think that's the question was from Yorgos, since if I issue a diploma, for example, I do that on behalf or with the how to say in English, I'm authorized by the ministry. At the school, I'm authorized by the ministry to do this. And
basically, the ministry is accrediting you to issue this diploma.
Yeah, genau. Yeah. And I think the ministry must be entered in the Trusted Accreditation Authority. Is it right?
We don't have a registry that has that name. However, we have the Trusted Issuer Registry, which plays that role.
Okay. Because I have a mail contact with Alan, and he's told me that the DIT, that it must create another DIT, and this another DIT must be registered in the Trusted Accreditation Organization Registry.
That's correct, but it's another name for the Trusted Issuer Registry. So basically, the two actors that you're mentioning, the ministry that's giving the accreditation to the university, and the university, or two issuers, and both need to be registered in the Trusted Issuer Registry.
Okay, and that means that the verifier, who receives the verifiable presentation, must verify not only the trusted issuer, also he must verify that the trusted issuer is a real trusted issuer who has a credit from the ministry, for example. Is it right?
The verifier will, no matter what, verify the issue, the ID of the university that issued the diploma. Wesley, I might need your help there. Is there a mechanism by which we verify that in a cascading effect that the university was properly accredited by a TAO?
Yeah, that's exactly this. For the verification process, you can cascade as long as you want, and as long as you consider it's not enough. So 1 level, 2 level, you can go from the diploma to the issuer of the diploma, check that the issuer has the accreditation to deliver such diploma linked to this schema from the Trusted Schema Registry.
Yes.
And from the issuer, you can check who gave the accreditation for the issuer to issue diploma. So in your scenario, you can go up to the ministry, basically. Does it answer the question?
Okay.
And if you want to go further, you can even check who gave the accreditation to the ministry to give accreditation to this university or this umbrella organism to issue diploma, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Maybe here I can add something, Wesley, but this is all valid for the case of the pilot, but obviously it is true that there will be a point where this has a business or legal implication based on the use case. So not anyone can just receive a verifiable accreditation and find themselves in trusted issuers registry. But this is something that that is linked to a general legal framework to decide who actually counts as a trusted issuer and who actually counts as a trusted accreditation organization. These are issues that you're not expected to solve in the pilot, to be clear. So what Wesley says is technically true, but there will be probably in the future additional safeguards to ensure that the trusted issuers registry can be trusted. I don't know if that made sense. I used the word trusted many times.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
This is correct. What I was trying to say is that the whole thing, the whole chain of accreditation is actually auditable from a technical perspective. And of course, we'll have safeguard to ensure that from a business perspective, the accreditation is given to the correct person, correct entities.
So Mauro is here writing in the chat. Regarding conformance testing as integrator, I've realized that scenario 2 and 3 supposes the wallet uses notifications API. What if the wallet uses the integrator services for managing these notifications via push notifications in our case? Oh, maybe, hang on, because Jonas, I see you wrote a question right before, which is more related to the previous discussion we just had. I just wanted to ask if it had been clarified for you, or if we need to go open this point again on the verification.
No, actually, it's not clear for me. As from technical perspective, I understand that you can verify it in cascade. It's something like TLS certificates here. You have that intermediate certificate issue, etc., etc. And as long as you trust the certificate of authority, it's okay for me. But in this case, as I understood, the verifiable credentials will be issued by a certain organization that is accredited to do so on behalf of the university, and it's okay in regards to the trust. But when it comes to the data such, how will I will know which university on behalf of which university the verifiable credentials were issued? Because as far as I understood, those universities won't be registered and won't get any DIDs.
That's one for Wesley or Kevin, because I'm also not clear on that.
Can I say something on this?
Of course, I don't know who's speaking.
Yorgos.
Yorgos, go ahead.
This is a very good question from Jonas. I thought about it as well, and I assume that since this umbrella institution is the one which is issues the diplomas on behalf of the others, we trust whatever they add in the certificate, right?
I would assume, Yorgos, on this principle that we know through various mechanisms that the issuer is trusted. This is something that we'll need to establish. And then in terms of the actual information, the metadata, which tells you what's the content of the credential, that's a separate question, I believe. So you would be able to know from what the university diploma is or what's the content. But in terms of the trust question and the content question are separate, in my opinion.
You don't trust the content?
No, it's not about trusting content. You know what you are describing here. It would be more or less when in your enterprise wallet you have more than one DID, and those universities on behalf of which you are issuing the verifiable credentials, they trust you. and they allow you to sign using their DIDs. I hope you understand what I meant behind this. So in that case, the verifying site will receive the exact DID of the exact university, even if it was issued by you. I mean, if in Greece, those universities trust you as an organization issuing, it's something like a TAO and ECAR here. Our TAO, Ministry of Education, won't issue any DIDs. I think they won't. They don't have the technical experience. And ECAR would act as a sort of central agency ensuring that, for instance, KTU is the university that has accreditation or something like this.
So I think there's a few notions here. One is that you can, so the TAO in principle does not issue credentials.
Indeed, yes.
Well, I mean, it issues verifiable accreditations, which are a type of credential, but it doesn't issue verifiable diploma credentials.
Yes, exactly.
And so okay, and so what you're saying here, you're trying to draw parallels between the role of e-diplomas and the role of ECAR. And my understanding was that the role of ECAR is more as a like TAO, so providing accreditation, whereas the role of e-diplomas here is as a delegated issuer, if I'm summarizing this correctly.
Something, I mean, for instance, in GUNet, it is an umbrella organization under which there are many universities, Greek universities, I mean, and GUNet might contain one single wallet containing lots of DIDs. That and behind those DIDs, there probably there would be universities that actually issues verifiable credentials. That was my idea.
Okay. I understood it differently. I'm not sure what the right answer is here. I understood it that there would just be GUNet that had one DID that they needed to prove, and that they would issue verifiable credentials in lieu of the universities that have.
Maxine, this is our proposal. What you are describing now, I don't know if this is valid or not. Maybe the experts can't. Maybe.
Can I ask something? I'm also from Greece, but I'm from GNet, from the Ministry of Digital Governance. So a question about the different DIDs. The DID must be tied to an issue in order to show that the credential comes from this issue, because let's say that if the DID has to be tied to the actual university that is issuing the diploma, right, then we do need these different DIDs. That's the question. I'm not sure about the protocol.
I understand your question.
And for instance, the signatures. So who is actually, so the question is, who is supposed to sign the verifiable credentials? If I present a verifiable presentation from my degree from the University of Athens, in order for the verifiers across Europe to recognize it, must be signed by the University of Athens, or could it be signed by GUNet?
So you're asking what's more a trust framework related question than a technical question, because from a technical perspective, as long as we can attest that the issuer is in the trusted issuer registry and that they can prove control over a DID, we're good.
That's correct. That's correct.
Right. But the question you're asking is a more legal one, and I would say that for the sake of this pilot, and this is my opinion, and maybe Kevin, you can provide a separate opinion. For the sake of this pilot, you're allowed to proceed with just one DID for GUNet, assuming, which is a big assumption, that they have full authority to act as issuer on behalf of other universities. What their arrangement is between e-diplomas and whatever universities they might represent, look, that's a separate, let's say, legal or trust-related question. We can definitely examine it, and I think we should, but for the purpose of making a demonstration, I think we can skim over it. And Kevin and Wesley, feel free to add to what I just said.
I completely agree.
Is that clear with everyone, or do we need to break it down, taking the example of a university issuing a diploma and another one of GUNet issuing basically on behalf of universities, other universities? Do we need to break it down again, or is that clear now at technical level and at legal level? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right.
I mean, to me, it makes sense. I would. It's important for me that it also makes sense for our colleagues from Cyprus. And
Indeed.
Yorgos, one of the two.
And Maxime, it's clear. It's clear with us. It's just I think it's up to GUNet to decide whether using one DID it's okay, both technically and legally, or we need to move to multiple DIDs.
I think from a legal standpoint, the question is a bit broader than what GUNet can decide on their own, because it also, you know, it like there will be at some point a broader legal framework for trust that is associated to different types of credentials. And, you know, I don't know, like GUNet, you can react in any way you want, but I do feel like for the purpose of this pilot, we should just assume away the difficulty here, because if we start trying to unpack this within the context of your demo, we're going to be stuck for a long time. So it might be.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then let's proceed like this. I would be interested though in finding out more from GUNet about the relationship between, like, what contractual relationship or otherwise there exists between eDiplomas and the partner universities, because that is a very interesting use case for us working on the business side and on the regulation side of this use case. So really interested in getting some more information from you, but there's no particular urgency when it comes to the development of your demo, and I think it's fine to proceed the way you propose.
Okay, thank you.
I will pass on this request for you, Maxime, to GUNet colleagues and see whether they can give you.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, fantastic. And Jonas, do you feel like somehow we've answered your question?
I'm not sure about that. It's about legal trust here, and
yeah, exactly.
I guess in normal life, we should look like how it looks. If GUNet issues normal paper diploma on which clearly university is stated, so in paper world it works, because for the student it doesn't matter which organization actually printed the certificate here. But when it comes to the digital world, there should be, from the data model perspective, you should have that clear reference. And it's not about name or something like this. It's about an ID. When you have that ID, you can clearly bind the information that is being sent. And afterwards, you can make all the trust stuff and the verification stuff. And it doesn't matter who actually technically issued verifiable presentation. It's not about that.
Yeah, it's about the rules of who gets to be in the trusted issuers registry.
Exactly.
And that's a very complicated question that I'm currently working on, but that I unfortunately don't have conclusions, like firm conclusions for.
No, I guess for the pilot's sake, it doesn't matter who issues the GUNet or exact university. The same goes to our cluster here. We don't even have citizen ID, and even though we trust that student, so it doesn't matter. As a proof of concept, it's okay, but it is something that you should consider, because in Cyprus and Greece it works. But I'm not sure about the same issuing structure, and if it would work, for instance, between Greece and Lithuania. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I understand your point, and well taken, and we're working on it. Unfortunately, it's something that also cuts across several different domains within the Commission itself and several different regulations, and also not just at EU level, and sometimes it's national. So look, no answers, but for the sake of the proof of concept, I think we move on the way we suggested, and I'm interested in more details about the way in which organizations like ECAR and e-diplomas actually operate. So that's something that I'll follow up on a different track. But if you're happy to move on to the next question, Jonas, then
Sure.
Jonas, is that okay if I, this is Kevin speaking, is that okay if I add just like a complement of information to your question earlier? Because indeed we try to respond by addressing first the legal aspect, then the technical one, but I'm not sure that we completely nailed it down from a technical standpoint. What you say is correct. We can't just rely on the name in JSON. And at this point, the only way we can exactly know which university issued the VC, if there's a combination of GUNet and universities below, well, basically we must have the IDs for both GUNet, one DID as the issuer, and if GUNet issues a diploma on behalf of another university, but you must absolutely be sure which university that is, then the university must have a DID that's registered in the trusted issuer registry as well, and at least no, and in the DID registry as well. And the point here will make it compelling that the issuer is GUNet on behalf of another university, which is uniquely identified by its own DID. That's as opposed to what you're saying here. We cannot just rely on the name in JSON. That's absolutely correct. If we went down that route, that would introduce risks of names not being correct, and they would be prone to errors. So that's just a clarification I wanted to make.
So the point is there is a technical answer to
Yes.
any kind of business or legal design decision that we make.
Kevin, an additional question. I know the format of the DID with proofs and whatever, but there is no attribute in which I could read that's DID from the Technical University of Berlin. Such an attribute from the name of the university, for example, is missing. Is it right? Or maybe I didn't understand it correct.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm not sure I got.
Okay, so the format of a DID is, in my opinion, only technical, with proofs, with format identifiers, and so on and so on.
That's
and
correct.
There are no attributes where I can read, oh, that's really the DID from the Technical University of Berlin, for example.
No, you should not.
No, that would be a big security
you should
problem.
not actually. That's correct.
No, indeed. If there were attributes, the attributes would be in the verifiable credential.
Sorry, Patrick here from TU Berlin. Helmut, I'm not 100% sure, but we updated. So we registered a DID, an EBSI DID, and also in the TIR, also the Trusted Issuer Registry. And then the documentation also shows the update issuer information, something like this. I'm not 100% sure what this is at the moment, but we have this attributes regarding to our DID, and these attributes, I don't know, I will paste it in the chat. It's open and accessible. These attributes are hash and body. And the second attribute we added here, the information, if you copy paste the body of the second attribute in the JWT, then you see the technical university. The second hash, the second row should be and this is what I not understand at the moment. What does this mean? That this hash which I posted in the chat is the.
Oh, I just cross-posted for you, Patrick.
Oh yeah. And if you copy paste this to JWTIO, then you see Technische Universität Berlin and so on. And is this information regarding to our EBSI DID only history, or what is this?
I don't know, Wesley.
Try to answer a bit your question, Helmut.
Wesley?
Yeah, I'm here. So what you show here is what you get from the Trusted Issuer Registry, which is where we only have legal entities. And in the attributes of legal entity, we can have verifiable ID. And this is the place where you can actually reveal the name of the university and so on. So it's not on the not on the deed registry, but on the Trusted Issuer Registry that you can have this information. In regard to
very important also, the Trusted Issuer Registry can include information about entities, but not about natural persons.
Of course. Yeah. The Trusted Issuer Registry by design should only contain legal entity anyways. I don't think we will ever have a natural person being an issuer of anything, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, but
Patrick, these attributes were added by you, it's right?
Yes.
Okay, so in order to have a multi-university pilot, and if several university wants to have a look at what's the name of the university, for example, this method is maybe interested for the whole multi-university pilot to provide the name of the issuer.
Yeah, I guess this would be one of the goals to then, let's say encode the hash, this EY blah 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 in the body, and that then the verifier can then have this this relation to this DIT to the Technische Universität Berlin. So in some way,
in a human readable form, I have to say.
That's what I meant. Yes, and I'm not 100% sure if we can now argue that our EBSI DIT, which is shown here, now is anchored to this information, or is this information which we can add here only something like history? It's under the key attributes. Yeah, there's the first row shows this attributes. So this is an attribute of this DIT. Is this the same as now we've anchored an attribute information to our EBSI DIT? Is this a valid information, or is this something not that important information? That's what we were asking us that you were in the last time.
Yeah, to try to clarify, what you see here is indeed encrypted value of the body, but I don't remember how we encode them right now because we changed the encoding many times, but basically, and I think we are working on that to have the endpoint also returning the value in clear. But basically, this string can be decoded fairly easily with a standard algorithm. I don't remember the exact encoding, but this is readable information.
And regarding to this, okay, thank you so far. One last question from my side. I made a mistake by updating this issuer information. Sadly, I pressed enter before I was finished with my full what I wanted to add. And so the second last, I guess, or the last information is wrong. Contains something stupid, I would say, from my side. This is only a bracket, and I'm now not able to delete this part of information from this attribute. This is the first, and the second I was wondering was why I'm able to have two same key definitions. I know this is a hash, a different hash, so each entry will have a different hash, but this shouldn't be, right? I mean, now in the information we see here under the attributes, we have 2 times the key called indie DIT. And this is also a thing I don't understand, I guess. Yeah. This is a bit confusing for me at the moment, but yeah, maybe we need some more time for this.
Yes, looking at the specs, you are allowed to indeed add attribute, update attributes, but we don't have a delete attribute. I don't know the exact reason why. This is something I will have to refer to the specs because it was decision taken a long time ago. But you can update existing attributes.
If it is normal though, the deletion should be at the very least difficult because the trusted issuers registry, the information in it should be immutable for various reasons. So if we do decide that we want to change something about this, then we need to look at this carefully together, Wesley.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so far. Yeah. Okay. Maybe one last thing. The reason why this is important for us also is that we later on long-term scene want to have this interoperability between the EBSI ecosystem, so-called, and the ID Union network later on, so that we want to create an anchor, so to say, that we want to have this trusted root. The trusted root, we have this EBSI DID, and maybe later on the possibility to exchange verifiable credentials within the ID Union network, so that our ID Union endorser DID is linked to the EBSI DID. This would beneficial for, yeah, let's say the yeah, work between siloed self-sovereign identity networks.
With EBSI and areas. World.
Yes, Hyperledger areas, Indy and EBSI. That's why this is a bit more important for us to understand that from the beginning now.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Patrick. On the interoperability with ID Union, I do believe that that's indeed an important point. So, when you say that you want the DIDs to be linked, concretely, what do you mean by this? And we don't have to spend a lot of time in this meeting discussing it, but I think that that's pretty important information for us to understand. We can pick this up. We can pick this up also on the forum if you'd like. I don't hear you anymore, so I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's but it's more or less a midterm to long-term goal. I would say.
So it's not an immediate blocker.
No. For first, we are hardly working on this cross-border pilot as it's defined in the wave 2. Yeah.
Okay, but that question is then interesting to put a pin in. The question of linking the DIDs, and it's something that we should raise then a little bit later. So I'm making a mental note, but don't hesitate to remind us as well. I'm gonna give Mauro the chance now to have his question answered. It's been a solid 30 minutes that it's been there.
No problem.
Mauro, you wanna like read out your question?
Yeah. Well, this is Mauro, and now I'm with the head of the integrator for AOC of Catalonia, Spain. So I talk on behalf of Validated ID, and the question is regarding the conformance testing, because it's something that I've realized while trying to prepare our wallet to pass these tests. So there are 3 scenarios. The first one is regarding onboarding. With this, there's no problem. But with the scenario number 2 and number 3, most of the requests that are supposed to be done are towards notification API. And in our case, we do not make use of this optional API, because the notifications are dispatched through our solution, and that's our purpose of our wallet and our API. So my question is here, if we should add any other kind of test or avoid them, or we are supposed to use the notification API and it's something compulsory. It's something that I haven't think about until now, and I wanted to share here today.
Okay. Few questions to better understand. You said the whole point of your wallet is to use your notification, correct?
Yes, but basically well, when an issuer issues a credential, this notification is dispatched through a push notification through the wallet, and at the same time it works similarly for the presentation. So that's why I'm saying scenario 2 and scenario 3, that are the issue and the verify.
How are they dispatched exactly, the notification?
How are they dispatched? Basically through our API. So our API will notify that DID and will send a notification saying, hey, a verifiable credential has been created for you, and the wallet will retrieve it.
So your API means that your wallet actually relies on a backend API that handles the notification, right?
Exactly. Yes. So our wallet basically holds like a cloud agent for it, but well, obviously this data it's encrypted on our databases, so the information is only available for the user holding the keys. That in that case is the wallet.
Yeah. So you understand then why in an ecosystem where we want to support multiple wallets coming from the market, including your wallet, we want to have a common way for wallets to exchange payload and notifications. And that's why we cannot force all the wallets to use your notification system. So it doesn't mean you cannot use it. What I'm trying to say is we are putting in place the conformance first to get wallet to talk the EBSI language and to follow a baseline protocol that will ensure that we have a certain level of interoperability in the end between those wallets. However, those are optional. Your wallet doesn't need to be conformant, or your wallet can be conformant, but for your notification that you handle from the beginning to the end, you can go through your own protocol. It's not a problem, but you can easily imagine that an issuer that might use another wallet than yours will not be able to send you we cannot constrain the other wallet to follow your notification protocol, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I understand. Yes. So the question was more that if we want to be compliant, of course, we have to use notification API.
Yeah.
We can still go with our solution to keep working on the pilot on the
exactly.
But to become conformant, we should go for notifications API and use it there.
Exactly. One more point in favor, if I can say like this, of notification API is that in our case, the notification API is spread and hosted by all the node operator, meaning that it's decentralized and we believe more robust than relying on one party.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, I understand now. Yes. Okay, thank you for the reply, Wesley.
All right, perfect. If your question was answered, Mauro, then I can open the floor for other questions if there are any. I see a lot of participants who I think haven't had the chance to talk today. I don't know if you came just to listen or if you had specific questions in mind. If not, we are also very welcome to close this session early and add 30 minutes to our lunch break.
Maxine, just to be clear, why some of us don't have any technical questions here, because we're waiting for tomorrow's meeting with VaultID, at least for those it's relevant for those who are bound to VaultID solution. And Dominic arranged a meeting with all participants who will use VaultID.
Mm-hmm,
So
okay.
I guess the majority of technical questions will be covered there.
Okay, and also perhaps next week, then we have another session, and anything that you didn't find the answer to, you can type in the forum. And we
yes, exactly. Because I guess when Dominic will present its solution and answers to questions, I guess there will be way more technical questions raising afterwards. So I guess we will have a more rich discussion next week, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, then, if I could ask all of you after your session VaultID, if you still have questions or points for discussion, please put them in the forum. It allows us to prepare, and if necessary, to bring in an additional person who might be able to answer with more precision.
Maxine?
Can I ask a favor? I may have lost the link to this meeting with VaultID. Could somebody forward it to me or possibly post it in the chat? Because I'm not sure I have received it.
Otto, I think you are present in this meeting because I'm now driving and I won't be able to share the link. Otto,
yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Panos, if you send me your email address, I'll send you the link.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And I reply my offer because I'm using the VaultID solution. I have a trusted issuer registry entry with my DIT. I have a diploma, a verifiable presentation, and everyone who wants to check the EBSI conformance by checking my DITs and so on, I can send this verifiable presentation of a diploma generated by the VaultID solution, and then if you receive it, you can check it whether you can verify it. I've done this test with ECHA, I've done this test with Luxembourg, and I would be happy if another one would agree and will and ask me, then I will send it this JSON file with the verifiable presentation of a diploma as soon as I can. It's an offer from me.
It's not a problem for us to do so, but I guess we're not mature enough to do that, and we're looking forward to the tomorrow's meeting.
Okay.
I guess afterwards we can try it out with KTU as well.
Helmut, can you post your email in the chat because I have your old email in the ministry. I don't think I have the latest.
Well, that's my former life.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Great. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Panos.
All right. Well,
actually, sorry, might I ask a question? So this is Otto representing Microblock of Finland. So this is probably something that is obvious if you had read the right documentation, but I have not yet had time. So regarding the trusted issuer registry and in context of this pilot, what is kind of the process for us getting access to that, so we can apparently it's so that we can write our own DIT there after we get the proper authorization.
Wesley?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
He wants to understand how. Oh, please, Otto, go ahead.
Yeah. So how do we get in the context of this pilot? How do we get our DIT to the trusted issuers registry? So what's the process?
How can he onboard onto a trusted issuer, essentially, Wesley?
Well, at the moment, it's fairly straightforward. You can ask the support office, and the technical office can add you.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but then what I heard that people had written their own DIT. But if it's so, do I understand that we just contact the technical office and tell this is our DIT, and they will add it?
Yeah,
that's okay. That's what I thought, but I think if I understood correctly, some people here, maybe I misunderstood, had written their own DIT to the register because someone here just moments ago talked about that. But
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. I hope we've addressed your question. And also, Kevin just posted in the chat for you the link to our support service desk, so you can request help.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I think the support system is familiar. I was just not quite certain about the process.
No worries. It is and to be clear, I mean, this is an artificial workaround for the sake of.
Of course, I completely understand that. That's why I asked it in context of this pilot.
Indeed. Okay, that's great. I see also that Zaire is copy pasting the link to the forum, so I suppose it will shortly appear in the chat. So I invite you all to post your questions there, as Zaire just kindly reminded, in anticipation of our next session, which will take place next week. Could you remind me the date, Zaire? I think it was the 10th.
It's the 15th, Max.
The 15th. I apologize. Not next week, the week after.
No, wait, sorry. The 11th of November.
The 11th is a day off. We can't do that. It was the 15th. I think you're correct.
Yeah. Then the 15th.
But in any case, can we just get a firm
confirmation? Okay. 15th of November at 11 to 12:30.
Perfect. So the next session is on the 15th of November. You have plenty of time to populate the forum with questions ahead of that, and especially in light of the hopefully enriching discussion you'll have tomorrow for those of you working with Volt ID. Obviously, we'll also be checking the forum as between sessions, so that will also be a place for us to have discussions. We recapped today. We had a productive discussion about the legal validity of trusted issuers, the immutability of DIDs on the attributes of DIDs on the trusted issuers registry, about the notifications API with regards to the wallets. So thanks all for your questions. I hope that this was helpful for all of you. And if there are no further last minute questions, then I'll give you all back 30 minutes and you can.
Just to clarify, Maxime, the 15th of December for November, I had it noticed down as our target date for having the final the prioritization of the two or three scenarios of our cluster.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That is correct.
So in order to have that, and that coincides with our next meeting. So in order to achieve that, is there some work that we need to do in between in order for all of us to agree on the?
It would be ideal if you could talk to your cluster or the participants that you're going to do the scenarios with, so you can all agree together on what will receive priority.
Okay, so we can do that in between us.
Yes. There's no need for, like, we're not going to intervene. It would just create a layer of inflexibility. So just please go ahead and contact your cluster teammates, let's say.
Okay, then we'll try that.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi. Last minute questions.
Of course.
I'm Azim from EBSI for Austria.
Hi, Azim.
The question is about using the notification API for issuance. Is that important to use that one? Because of currently our implementation, we don't have that one. So
I think Wesley, you can take that one.
Sorry?
Wesley, is he still here? Wesley's left. I believe that in the answer he gave earlier, Kevin, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please go ahead. But I believe the answer is that you don't necessarily have to.
No, indeed, you don't necessarily have to use it. The point here is that the notification API is listed as to be used in a test scenario 2 and 3, but you do not have, you're not mandated to use it. However, we will need to define as part of the wallet conformance testing what it is to be fully conformant. That will be less technical. It will be much more about saying that if you comply to 100% of the test scenarios, then you're fully compliant. If you do not use the notification API because you have your own notification system, then you are compliant up to that level. But the short answer is no, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Kevin. That makes sense.
Sure.
Thanks.
All right. Any more last minute surprise questions? Okay, then. Do we close this session, or is that a sharp intake of breath before another question?
Yeah, I think it's a good time. I mean, 25 times extra.
Okay, great.